If you've ever seen a Viking longship preserved in a museum or stepped into the remains of a centuries-old wooden hall, you've probably wondered, how did this timber survive for so long? Unlike most modern wood, which, tends to rot within just a few years of exposure, Viking timber endured storms, snow, and decades of harsh northern winters. The secret wasn't some mystical process or modern chemical. It was actually a combination of natural techniques and patient craftsmanship that transformed ordinary wood into a nearly indestructible material. Vikings carefully chose and harvested trees for maximum durability. The first step in creating long-lasting timber began long before any beam was cut or shaped. Vikings selected trees based on type, size, and season. Softwoods such as pine, spruce, and fir were typically harvested in late winter or early spring, when sap levels were at their lowest. Low-sap timber naturally absorbed less moisture, reducing the risk of rot and fungal growth. After felling, the logs weren't immediately put to use. Instead, they were air-dried slowly for months, sometimes even years, allowing the fibres to harden evenly and creating a stable, resilient foundation. For backyard builders, this principle remains essential. Using well-seasoned timber, even for garden beds, furniture or small sheds, prevents warping, cracking, and early decay. Avoid rushing the drying process with direct heat or artificial methods that can weaken the wood internally. Patience at this stage ensures your projects will last decades longer. Once the timber was properly dried, Vikings often used a surprising technique, controlled charring. By briefly exposing the outer layer of wood to flame, they created a thin, carbonized surface that repelled water, insects, and fungi. The inner wood retained its strength and flexibility, while the charred exterior acted like a shield against decay. This method was applied to everything from longship hulls to roof beams, helping them survive centuries of exposure to harsh northern weather. In your backyard, you can replicate this method with a propane torch or a small controlled fire. Hold the flame close enough to blacken the surface without burning through, then gently brush away loose soot. Charring works exceptionally well on fence posts, raised beds, and outdoor furniture, adding a natural protective layer that significantly extends the wood's lifespan. Charring alone wasn't enough to guarantee longevity. Vikings also treated timber with natural oils and resins, most commonly pine tar derived from slowly burning pine wood or resin. This substance penetrated deep into the fibres, creating a waterproof barrier, while also acting as a natural antiseptic to prevent mold and rot. Some structures were coated multiple times over weeks to ensure complete absorption. Timber treated in this way could endure rain, snow, and high humidity for decades without deteriorating. For backyard use, pine tar, linseed oil, or tung oil can replicate this effect. Warm the substance slightly and work it deeply into the wood fibres, particularly on surfaces exposed to water. Outdoor furniture, garden beds, wooden tools, and even firewood benefit from this treatment, giving them durability that modern chemical sealants rarely achieve. Even treated wood can fail if it is poorly assembled. Vikings understood that how timber was joined was as critical as how it was treated. Boards were overlapped, joints were angled, and wooden pegs were used to evenly distribute stress. Flat surfaces where water could pool were avoided, and wood was allowed to expand and contract naturally. When combined with charring and oiling, thoughtful joinery ensured that Viking structures could endure centuries of exposure. Backyard builders can adopt these principles easily. Slightly angled garden beds, overlapping boards in sheds, and carefully spaced furniture components allow water to drain naturally, reducing stress on treated timber. When paired with proper treatment, these design choices dramatically enhance longevity. Imagine constructing a garden shed using softwood harvested in winter, slowly air-dried, lightly charred, and coated with pine tar. That shed will resist rain, snow, sun, and pests far longer than untreated wood. Even firewood stored using these methods remains dry and decay-free, providing reliable fuel for years. Outdoor furniture fences and raised garden beds all benefit from this ancient technique, transforming ordinary wood into heirloom-quality material. The Viking timber hack wasn't a secret or a mystical trick. It was the result of observation, patience, and a deep understanding of natural materials. Applying these methods today allows you to build wood projects that resist decay, avoid harsh chemicals, and achieve durability that modern builders often fail to match. By embracing Viking methods, selecting timber at the right time, slow drying, controlled charring, natural oiling, and intelligent joinery, you're not just constructing structures. You're connecting with centuries of craftsmanship. Whether you're a history enthusiast, a survivalist, or someone who simply wants long-lasting wood in your backyard, these techniques provide a practical, timeless solution.